I suspect I was asked to be on this program tonight because I have lived in Willard for 68 years. And many of you know that I came from southern Alberta, so I grew up there. So you know I'm no spring chicken. In fact, my great-grandson asked me some time ago, he said, "How old are you?" And I said, sort of teasingly, "Well, I'm not sure." And he said, "Well, just look in your underwear. It's 4 to 6. And then he asked me again, and I told him. And he said, "Wow, did you start at 1? You know, I used to think that people who are my age now are old, but I don't think that anymore. I think that if you have good memories, and if you make good memories, then your life can be good no matter what age you are. I'm well aware that what Mother Nature giveth, Father Time taketh away. But there are signs, you know, of getting older. Last Sunday, I noticed something here on my dress, and I started to brush it off, and I discovered that it was hair that was attached to my chin. And when I drove to Brigham last week, I had to go to Walmart, so I turned west, and when I got home, about an hour later, my left turn signal was still blinking. But getting older doesn't have to be so bad. In fact, I think to laugh makes the aging process a little slower. When I look back over the years, I think those were the days, my friends. And I thought they would never end, but they do. They do end, but something maybe even better takes their place. It's good to laugh, and so they asked me if I would tell a few stories tonight. I don't want anybody to be offended, and they may be true, or maybe I have them mixed up a little bit, but here goes. Some of you may know that Dallin Mortensen, a young man in our ward, has been serving a mission in Mexico. And the family hadn't heard from him for weeks. But one night the phone rang, and Noreen answered the phone, and she said, "Hello." Dallin said, "Mom, it's me, Dallin. How are you doing?" And she said, "Well, not so good. I've been feeling pretty weak." "But what are you weak, Mom?" "Well," said Noreen, "I haven't had a bite to eat for 38 days. "Mom," he said, "that's terrible. Why?" "Well," she said, "I didn't want to have any food in my mouth just in case you called." Vern Price has a grandson named Austin, and he had just received his driver's license, and he kept pestering him to drive. So Vern took him aside and said, "If you will bring your grades up to a B, anyway, to a B. And if you will read the scriptures at night, about 4 nights at least a week, and if you will cut your hair, then we'll talk about you using the car." So about 6 weeks later, he said to Austin, he said, "I'm really proud of you, Austin. You brought your grades up, and you're doing great. I notice you're reading the scriptures at night, but I'm a little disappointed. You haven't cut your hair." And Austin said, "Well, I've been thinking about that. And in my study of the scriptures, I have noticed that Samson didn't have long hair, Moses didn't, and even Jesus did have long hair on it. Did have long hair." And Vern said, "You're right, Austin, they had long hair. But did you also notice that they walked everywhere they went?" Tolly Beans is usually a mild-mannered person, but one time he just had it. And he decided he needed to build up his self-esteem. So he went to a psychiatrist who listened to him, and after the session, he gave him a little book to read on the way home. It was on assertiveness. And Tolly did read it. When he got home, he walked in, found his wife, Judy, shook his finger in her face and said, "From now on, I want you to know that I am the man of this house, and my word is law. Tonight, I will expect you to prepare a wonderful dinner for me. And after I've eaten it, I will expect a sumptuous dessert. And after that, you will draw my bath water, and I'm going to sit in it for an hour and relax. And after I'm finished, guess who's going to dress me and comb my hair?" The undertaker said, "You know, often men don't have an idea of what a woman wants and what she needs." And Wayne Farley and his wife Charlene decided it was time to get some help with their some counseling. So they went to the doctor, and the doctor said to Wayne, "Well, what seems to be the trouble?" And he was going to answer, but Charlene just stepped right in, and she told him every problem that they'd had for at least 30 years. And the doctor listened, and then he stood up, he walked around his desk, he took Charlene by the hands and lifted her up to her feet, and then he embraced her and kissed her passionately. And Charlene was absolutely amazed, and she sank down in her chair. And then the doctor said, "This, Wayne, is what your wife needs at least 3 times a week. Can you do it?" And Wayne said, "Well, maybe I could drop her off on Mondays and but on Fridays, I go fishing." Well, a few weeks ago, I was visiting in the mall in Austin, and I saw a man lying flat on his stomach right in the walkway. And he was wriggling and writhing like something awful was happening to him. And a crowd had gathered around him. And Joyce Morrison happened to come by. She saw the crowd. She pushed her way through to see what was happening. And after she said,